start.
I do call him Black Jesus.
Exactly.
Yep.
But I will never call him that.
That's disgusting. If you eat,
No.
if you eat Hershey's bar for fun, you like golf balls in your mouth.
Really weird. So, I'm a really simple guy when it comes to women. What is wrong with you?
I ask myself that every day.
I don't know what the hell happened from the series before to the series with the Celtics.
It's my biggest conversation, and I hope we go viral with this one.
Princess Navarro.
You're drunk. You should not be drinking. You should not be drinking this early in the day, bro.
Buddy, I still got 30 minutes. I'll start drinking.
It's about that time of the week, ladies and gentlemen. That time of the week where your favorite podcast comes out with an episode and your favorite people. You get to listen to your favorite people talk for an hour, hour and a half, however long we're going to go today. Welcome into Gumball Sports Machine. This is the show where we love, we laugh, we cry, we hug, and we smile. I love you. I just throw that in there. But as always, I am not by myself. I got my boy, my brother, my dog, David Largo, a.k.a. co-host D-Lo in the building. David Largo, what's happening?
Hey man, bringing back that intro, it just makes me realize we got to do more wave episodes so we can talk about, stuff that is just like not sports related. You know what I mean?
We do. I absolutely agree because that was like we got some funny stuff on there.
Because you know what I mean? I really am a simple guy when it comes to women. And I don't get to talk about it much anymore because we turn sports on this podcast, but we gotta start doing more wave episodes.
Oh yeah, we gonna get back into it. We got OG working. He doing his apparent thing, so we gonna get him back right. You know what I'm saying? Hey, you know what? You are a simple guy when it comes to women. As long as it's a woman, you'll take it. On to the next. It is not just us two. It is my boy, my guy, coach of the year, and the guy that we like to call the brains of the group. Coach Kevin is in the building. Kevin, how you feeling?
I like to eat Hershey's bars. It's from the intro.
Oh yeah, that's right. Yeah, you know what? We had to throw it back a little bit. Pause. We had to throw it back a little bit. You know what I'm saying? It's OG is coming back. He's gonna be back soon, but we haven't played that intro in a little while, man. Of course, OG still got to be in that intro, but yeah, we had to throw it back a little bit. You know what I'm saying? We got the old, like the original squad in today, man. I was actually going back and I was like kind of watching through some of our first episodes. Man, we've come a long way, fellas.
We
definitely
sucked.
come a long way.
Yeah, we sucked. Yeah, we
Yeah,
did not know what we were doing.
No, not even in the slightest. So first of all, appreciate you, fellas. We've come a long way, and we're only growing. We're only getting better. All right, fellas, let's get into it today. The NBA came out with, Bleacher Report came out with a top 100 players of all time list today, fellas. Now, David Largo, I know you saw this list. We were kind of talking about it before the show. What are the things? Should we start? Yeah. What are the things that stood out to you the most on this list?
There's a lot. There's a lot wrong with this list. I don't even know where to start. I guess number one, for me personally, because a lot of people don't actually agree with me when I say this, but Kobe should be higher. Having him outside of the top 10 already is blasphemous. And that's crazy to me because I think he's the third best player ever. So for me, he's just too low at 11. The other thing that I saw is Giannis, I thought was a little low. I think people already are comparing him to the likes of, Dirk Nowitzki and Kevin Garnett, and players like that, just simply based off of what he's done. And so for him to be as low as he was, I thought it was really weird because he has a lot of the accolades that they do already. And really, you're just missing the longevity stats. But again, a lot of these rankings are based off of accolades. So strictly speaking on that, I feel like he should have been higher on the list, closer to those guys.
Kev, I know you've seen the list, and I know you've had an issue with this list. What did you see from the list that really we were like, okay, what? Who was making this list?
The top three, I actually didn't mind. You could say, 1 and 2 should be flipped depending on who you think should be the top. And then I think I'm not throwing shit at Low for saying Kobe at number 3, but I think Kobe number 3 is a good spot for him. I do think Kobe should definitely be in top 10 though. So that list was what kind of like I noticed, especially because they had Steph ahead of Kobe, and I was like, there's no way. And then Hakeem wasn't even in the top 10 too, so Hakeem not being up there in top 10 also kind of like blew me away as well. And then I kind of like seen like the Dirk and Nikola Jokic right next to each other. That sparked some conversations as well. If Jokic is higher than Dirk all time, or if Dirk's higher than Jokic all time. So there's a couple of spots where I looked at and I'm like, we definitely could have some conversations about it.
Yeah, I mean, there's a couple things that stood out to me. I saw Jason Tatum was on this list. I think he could have been a little higher. I saw him at 93. I definitely think he could have been higher. Dwyane Wade is also on this list at 23. There's some guys on here that, he could have surpassed.
Do you think SGA was too high?
Was SGA on this list?
SGA was not on the list. That was
No,
another big talking point, is that he wasn't on the list.
That's cool and all. Where's Devin Booker? I'm just kidding. I'm sorry. No, I mean, and we're gonna play a game of Would You Rather. I got a couple of Would You Rathers for you fellas that we're gonna play in a little bit.
I love Would You Rathers.
Pertaining to this list. So I'm very, very excited to talk about that. I didn't have too much. I mean, definitely don't get me wrong. There were some guys that were so far out of place in this list. The Kobe and Steph thing, maybe I shouldn't talk about it too much, but I don't see.
Yeah, you
now,
do.
I do think Kobe should be ahead of Steph, 100,000,000%. I will not argue that. There's no reason why Steph should be ahead of Kobe. I don't think the gap is as wide as people think it is, though. I don't think it is. When you talk about that. You know what I'm saying? Like, Steph has 2 MVPs, one of them being unanimous, the only ever. He has 4 rings. Now, the one Finals MVP, kind of, but Kobe only has 2.
Yep.
So I don't think the gap is as wide as people are making it out to be. But yes, of course, I have Kobe above.
I personally think on that list, Kobe should have been at number 8.
Yeah, I think when you talk Kobe, you have to put him around where Duncan is at. Either if you want to have him ahead of him or behind him is, your personal preference. But I think that's around where he should be. I personally just have him higher because, I do. But I wouldn't be angry with you if that's where you placed him. But to have him at 11 outside of the top 10 players ever that's wild.
As a matter of fact, you want to name the top 10 right now so people can just know who's on the list.
That's a great idea there, Mr. Kevin.
I have it pulled
number
up
10.
If you want me to do it.
Yeah, go ahead, D'Lo. Go ahead.
All right, so number 10 was Steph Curry. Number 9 was Wilt Chamberlain. Number 8 was Larry Bird. Number 7 was Tim Duncan. Number 6 was Shaq. Number 5 was Bill Russell. Number 4 was Magic. 3 Kareem. 2 LeBron. 1 is Jordan.
And now, fellas, I'll tell you right now, the top 5, I don't really have a problem with. To be honest, I don't really have a
I
problem with
think
top 5.
I might
make
put
an
Shaq in that
argument.
top 5.
You can make an argument for Shaq over Russell.
Yeah, see that part. Yeah, that part I agree with. But
There's an
But
argument.
top 4,
upset.
I like top 4 though.
Yeah, I and I think, but I don't think in terms of like outrageous, right? I don't think it's outrageous to have Bill Russell ahead of Shaq.
No.
Because he did win 11 rings. He's obviously one of the greats. And honestly, I don't like the top 10. I don't have again, aside from Kobe not being in the top 10. I mean, I usually have Kobe around 7, 8, 9-ish in my personal top 10.
Wherever
so
Duncan is
when you
at,
put him exactly,
that's typically where
when
that
you talk
range
about,
that he slots.
Yep.
What,
I mean,
what
I
about
think
Hakeem
him,
though? Do you guys not think Hakeem should be top 10?
It's hard.
some of these other guys, you know what I'm saying? Like with some of these other guys, it's really hard to tell.
The other thing with
just because
Hakeem though is like individually he was great, but I think that the biggest hurdle for him and the problem that a lot of people have is that that era was just dominated by MJ, and his only 2 rings were when MJ was out of the league or coming back, right? And so when you look at it, I think that a lot of people hold that against Hakeem, that he could never go to the finals and compete against him. I think that's one of the big flaws with Hakeem.
Because I do like
Yeah,
having Larry Bird
I'll
up there.
definitely
Larry
agree with you
Bird's
on that.
definitely top 10.
It's just, but when you talk about these other guys, yeah, honestly, I think when you talk about it, I think Tim Duncan, Larry Bird, and Kobe are all like, I think those are all, you're gonna slot those guys right next to each other in terms of the all-time players. I think those 3 guys you have to have, in whichever order you may have it. I personally have Tim Duncan. I think Tim Duncan a little higher all-time than Kobe, and then I go Kobe, then I go Bird. Now that in whatever whether it's 6, 7, 8, 9 or 7, 8, 9, 10, whatever it is. The top 10 I don't really have too much of a problem with. But there's also some there's some guys like if now again I don't want to get too much into it because a lot of these guys I have in the would you rather. But I mean, like if you look like lower in this list in the higher numbers, I mean they got Jason Kidd at 33, which but they have Kawhi, have Jason Kidd, which I absolutely agree with.
Mm-hmm.
But they have James Harden at 34. If I'm being honest, I think I might put James Harden above Jason Kidd.
Yeah, I think
like there's some
personally,
guys.
It's
Where's
this
AI
ring thing. 36,
36.
He's below Harden.
Oh yeah, hey, OG's not gonna like that.
Yeah, there's some guys, Clyde Drexler's. Yeah, I mean, a lot of these guys I don't have too much of a problem with. Like I said, Jason Tatum, I think he was a little low on this list though, 93 for what he's been able to do so far. I mean, I'd probably have him a little higher. All the Jason Tatum hate that
Draymond's at
I've
88,
spewed
huh?
over the years. Yeah, Draymond is at 88. Hold on, you know what? Where is Klay Thompson on this list? I saw him earlier. The mere fact he's even on this list.
Biggest Klay hater.
Biggest Klay.
The mere fact that
is
he's even on
back.
this list is insane to me. Klay Thompson at the top. Shut up.
You don't
Where's
think
Klay
he's
Thompson?
a top 100 player?
No, absolutely not. And the fact that he's not 100 for even on this list, the fact that he's not 100.
Hey, Draymond's ahead of him, so
know.
you can't be that mad.
Yeah, see, that's Draymond's also one of the greatest defensive players of all time. Yeah, he's you know what I'm saying.
Klay is 98.
He's 98. Okay, I guess I can't be too mad.
98.
I remember seeing his stupid face.
So the
I'm
only
seeing a
people
stupid face
behind
when
him
he
are
got mad.
Dave Bing and then Artis Gilmore.
Why are you still hating on Megan Thee Stallion's boyfriend now?
That's
Yeah,
cool and all.
I
Devin
did-
Booker is a better player all time.
I did not expect to see that on my bingo card this summer. Is Klay
No.
Thompson and
No.
Meg Thee Stallion? I never thought of it.
No, that's all right. Hey, it's funny. My coworker, my friend, Lauren I work with, she texted me. She knows I'm the biggest Klay Thompson hater in the world. And so she was like, I know it's been a few days, but what do you think about Klay bagging Megan Thee Stallion? I said, oh, it's two overrated people finding each other. They're perfect for each other. Gosh, I'm just keeping it a stat. I'm keeping it a B.
Anyways, moving on. Let's get
Would
into
you
this,
rather?
would you rather? Yeah, I want to hear some of your takes that you've got.
You know what? Yeah, I was gonna say let's talk about some summer league, but we can get to the would you rather's.
No, well, I mean we're already on topic. We're already on topic.
You're right.
This is on the all-time list, right?
Yep, these are all not all of them. Not all of them. I think there's one guy that's not on here, and it's because I saw it on Instagram earlier today, so I wanted to put him in there. But so I think this is the first ever, fellas. I think this is the first time we've ever played Would You Rather on this show. So
we've done little segments here and there, like with J-Dub and
Paulo,
but not an official Would You Rather.
Back to back.
Yeah.
See, I'm excited, fellas. I'm excited. Okay, the first ever Would You Rather edition, GSM style. And this is according to the NBA Top 100 list from Bleacher Report. The first one, Dwyane Wade or Giannis Antetokounmpo. Hilo, I'll let you go last. Kevin, see, I knew these. I knew these would be good. I knew these would be good.
This is actually insane.
I knew these would be good.
All right. Here's how I'm going to say this. I have Wade ahead of Giannis as of right now, even though Giannis has already, won a lot of awards and accolades. I just think having that one ring. Now, if he gets a second one, I might have him above Wade. But given what Wade has done, even before Braun came to Miami, he won a ring and he was the Finals MVP as well. So, I mean, it's not like he was a second option or third option. He was the main option and in the biggest stage of the NBA. So, and being the third best shooting guard of all time too, like that has something, especially being behind the names of Kobe and MJ. Give me Wade above Giannis of all time.
David Largo, your boy, D Wade, or one of the greatest to ever play the game, Giannis. Who is higher on your list?
You're a scumbag, and I hope you know it.
He's evil. He's evil for this.
You're evil, and if I'm not being biased, I think it's Giannis. When you look at it, right, they're both champions. They're both Finals MVP. Obviously, Wade has the 2 extra from the LeBron stint. But when you look at the accolades outside of it, right, Giannis has 2 MVPs to Wade's 0. Granted, a lot of people think that he should have won it in 2009. I personally don't, but I mean, to each their own. If you think he should have won it, that's fine, but he didn't. Giannis has a depoy, and Wade does not. Although Wade has played more, they have the same amount of all NBA team selections. Giannis is 5-time all defensive to Wade's 3. The only thing that Wade has on him is a scoring title. Yep. And then those 2 rings. Alongside, just longevity stats, right? So more all-star games, more just total accumulative stats. But when you look at just the short window of greatness, I think it's Giannis. And it pains me to say it, and I hate you, Jamal, for making me do this and pick this man. But
it's getting spicy.
Yeah. He's also the most dominant player that we've ever seen since Shaq. So I feel like just overall, it has to be Giannis.
This is a tough one. This is a tough one. It definitely took me a while to actually think about it. I think the cool thing is they're both two-way players. They're both very good on both ends of the floor. When you talk about Dwyane Wade, who is, in my opinion, the best shot blocking guard in the history of the game, and then you have Giannis, who is just guards one. He can guard 1 through 5. He's been a defensive player of the year. He has 5 times all NBA defense. After thinking about it, in my opinion, I would have Giannis all time over D Wade in my list for it. Just the dominance he's been able to show. He has the MVPs. He has the defensive player of the year. Now he doesn't have as many rings as Dwyane Wade has. Dwyane Wade was also playing with LeBron for a few of those rings, but Dwyane Wade absolutely went and got his own ring by his own, just like Giannis did. So it's very close. I think it's going to be very close, at least for the next few years. I am going to take Giannis over D Wade. Now, I will say, I saw this because I thought it was interesting too. In Bleacher Report's top 100 list, they had Giannis 24 and Dwyane Wade 23. One spot separating each other from each other. So I thought that would be a very interesting one, D-Lo, especially because I know you're a D Wade guy. And I think it's a tough conversation too. It's not an easy pick.
It is. Well, the thing is that we are already having conversations about him with Dirk and Kevin Garnett, and they're a lot higher on the list. They're, I think, 17 and 15 respectively. So if you're putting him in conversations with those guys, you have him around that number. So,
and I'm glad you mentioned that because we're going to get to those guys here in a few minutes. Okay, got through the first one. Here is the one that might not be as popular, but I know who I'm going. Klay Thompson. Would you restart? Would you rather Klay Thompson or Drew Holiday?
Didn't we already talk about this, bro?
Probably did, but Kev, who you going with?
Let Lo go first this time.
Okay, D-Lo,
I mean, I think this is pretty easy for me. I think it's Klay. I mean, just overall career-wise, I mean, he's better offensively. Drew Holiday is better defensively, but during his peak, Klay Thompson was definitely a good defender. I'm not going to take that away from him. And obviously, Klay's got 4, Drew's got 2. And I think that Klay just had more of an impact in their playoff runs than Drew did. That's just me personally, how I feel. So I think I have to go Klay.
Kev, you taking Drew Holiday or you taking Klay Thompson?
I'll take the other half of the Splash Brother. Jamal's about to go off right
Jamal
now.
about to crash out.
Oh no! Hey, everybody's entitled to their own opinion. I'm letting y'all spill y'all nasty opinion right now, so it's okay.
But because Jamal, I'm gonna say this. You always had like the one narrative where if Drew was in Klay's spot, they would have won titles.
Yep.
Maybe, but I mean, it didn't happen. And Klay and Steph, they won 4 together. And the Splash Bros, it wouldn't have happened without Klay. And I'm not saying that he was the main reason. It was mainly Steph. That was the reason why the NBA is evolutionized to 3-point shooting now. But it was Klay as a second man, and they were running over the league with their 3-point shooting. So, and like Lo said, the 4 rings. He has an all-defensive selection as well. And what is he? 7-time All-Star or 6? Something like that.
He is a 5-time All-Star.
Okay, so he's also a 5-time All-Star. So it's not like he was a bum or he was getting carried to rings. he played his role. He played his part, and he was really good at it. I'm not taking nothing away from Drew, though, because Drew is a two-time champion. On both teams, he was a major part on defense and a major part offensively. He was definitely a very good defensive two-way type of guard, and Milwaukee and Boston, they both wouldn't have won the ring without him.
Like I said, everybody's entitled to their own opinion. Now it's my turn for my opinion. Drew Holiday and Klay Thompson. When I say this, I do want to preface this. Klay Thompson is the second greatest shooter I have ever seen. I believe he's the second greatest shooter of the basketball to ever play this game of basketball. I'll preface this by saying that. I think he's number 2. And we could debate it all day long. But when you talk about player for player, because now Drew has the accolades, not exactly the accolades to compete against Klay Thompson, but when you put it all together, when you look at his impact on the teams that he has been able to go win championships with, when you look at the Bucks don't win a championship without him. They don't. He made some of the biggest plays in that entire playoff run. The strip from Devin Booker. He gave Chris Paul hell that entire series. He had a ridiculous impact on that team. For the Celtics, the play he made in the Eastern Conference Finals against Andrew Nembhard. And again, this is just on defense. The play he made in the Eastern Conference Finals against Andrew Nembhard. What he did in the finals against Kyrie and Luka Doncic gave both of them problems. When you look at the impact Drew Holiday has had, and even earlier in his career, he was a 6 seed with the Pelicans and went in to beat the number 3 seed Portland Trail Blazers and swept them. Drew Holiday, I believe, is the better defender. And when you look at it all around offensively, I think he's the better offensive player. Reason being, Drew Holiday could put the ball on the floor. Drew Holiday could facilitate. Drew Holiday could get to the rim. Klay Thompson, if you were to ask Klay Thompson to handle the ball, he couldn't do it. Boston asked when Jason Tatum was on the bench and Jaylen Brown was on the bench, Drew Holiday was handling the basketball. In Milwaukee, Drew Holiday was handling the basketball. Klay, if you ask Klay to handle the basketball, he can't do it. There's a reason why Draymond was the playmaker in Golden State. There's a reason. There's a reason why Klay Thompson was never bringing up the ball. Offensively, I believe Drew Holiday is the better offensive player. Again, Klay Thompson is the second greatest shooter to ever play this game of basketball. I am not arguing that. And we can debate it all day long. When you look at the two players and the impact that they have, yes, the Splash Brothers. But for what Drew Holiday was able to do for the Bucks and the Celtics, two different teams, two separate teams, and for him to go help those teams win a championship as much as he did, I think that's an impact that is irreplaceable. Irreplaceable. So, to close out my statement, taking Drew Holiday. Just damn.
I'm fine if you want to take Drew Holiday, but you saying that he's just overall an better offensive player is kind of insane to me.
Drew Holiday has a much deeper bag.
This is a guy that scored 37 points in a quarter, NBA record.
And how many times did he dribble the ball?
He's recorded 14 threes in a game.
How many times did he dribble the ball?
Record. Oh, don't worry, I'll get to dribbles. He scored 43 points with 4 dribbles, and then followed that and scored 60 points with 11. And we're saying that Drew Holiday is a better offensive player than that.
Yes, somebody is setting him up. Drew Holiday didn't need anybody to set him up. Somebody is setting Klay Thompson up for a shot. That's why he's not putting he never had to put the ball on the ground because he never could. This is honestly why I thought it was insane when people were debating Klay Thompson and DeMar DeRozan and Klay Thompson and Devin Booker. And in his prime, Klay Thompson and Bradley Beal. Klay Thompson and Donovan Mitchell. All those guys can do it all.
How many times has Klay Thompson averaged 20 points per game?
I don't know. Klay Thompson,
he's
Klay
not
Thompson
that
is
far
the best
off for
catch and
his
shooter of all
career.
time. Klay Thompson is the best catch and shoot shooter of all time.
And I think that's ridiculous too, because Ray Allen exists.
No, D'Lo, don't do that. Don't do that. There's no, no. Not what
Ray
we're
Allen
doing.
exists.
No, I understand he exists, but Klay Thompson also exists.
Well, I understand. This is a guy that you think is offensively worse than Drew Holiday. So
Yes. But I think he's the best shooter. I think he's the best catch and shoot shooter of all time. I think he's the second best shooter of all time.
Has Drew ever averaged 20 points per game in a season?
Sure he has. Let me see.
I would
Okay, we gotta
have
move
to
on.
imagine. No, I mean we can move on. I'm just trying to point out that you said that offensively Drew Holiday is just better than Klay Thompson, which is crazy to me.
No, he hasn't. Oh no, I'm sorry, he has. Yeah, he averaged 21. He averaged 21 in 2018, 2019.
I mean, that's only one season in his career.
That was with New Orleans, I think. I think that's that year he was
Yeah.
I'm
with
pretty
the
sure
Pels.
Clay has averaged 22 like 4 seasons. 3 or 4
I don't know why my
seasons.
internet is active. There we go. Clay has averaged 20. Let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 times. 7
Wow.
times. But
So we'll
again,
move on.
like somebody's
We'll
setting
move
him
on.
up. I think if Drew Holiday is the number one option, and we can move on after this. If Drew Holiday is the number one option on the team, and if Klay Thompson is the number one option on the team, I'm saying Drew Holiday will average more points.
But didn't you already say like Drew Holiday did have the ball in his hands? So wasn't he the number one guy with the ball in his hands a couple of times?
No. Just because you have the ball in your hand doesn't mean you're the number one option. Chris Paul had the ball in his hands, and Devin Booker was the number one option.
So how come Clay was
So
averaging that?
he was not
many
again. He was the guy.
How come Clay was averaging 7 seasons of 20 points per game and just off of catch and shoots? Like
Yes.
that's basically giving more credit
Yes.
to Clay for being a better offensive player.
I don't think so because he couldn't put the ball on the ground.
He didn't put the ball in guard, and he
Not
was still
against-
giving people 20 points per game for 7 straight
Because
seasons.
because of the catch and shoot. He didn't I don't think you understand what I'm saying. He didn't need that much time to catch the ball and put it up. He didn't need that much time. I mean, he's coming off elevator screens. He's coming off floppies. I mean
all of that is true, but if we're going to discredit Clay for that, why can't we discredit Steph for the same thing? Because he's playing in the same system.
No, Steph is one of the best ball handlers of all time.
Oh, I understand that, but a majority of Steph's buckets throughout his career have been off of screens from Draymond, the elevator screen you just talked about. A lot of his buckets have come off of that system.
That was their system. That was a Splash Brothers system.
I would
So
okay.
while
A lot of them.
Steph can put it on the floor, and I understand that, we're acting like Clay just can't.
Not like Drew Holiday.
Not
And
like
not
Drew
like the
Holiday.
guards in the league. Not like the elite guards in the league.
I'm not saying that. That's why he's 98th. But to say that he's just offensively a better player than Drew Holiday, that's where the disconnect is. If you want to say
And
Drew
he's in their
Holiday is
prime?
a better player, I have no problems with it. But when you say that Drew Holiday offensively is a better player than Klay Thompson, that's where you get me. That's where I draw the line. It's right there. It's in the sand.
Each of them in their prime. If I need a bucket, I'm saying, hey, Drew Holiday, isolate. Klay Thompson, isolate. It is a tie game and we need a bucket. Give me Drew Holiday.
Give me Klay.
Absolutely
give
not.
me Klay.
Absolutely not.
Because at the end of the
Clay's
day,
gonna need somebody to set him up.
I trust Klay to just rise over someone and shoot than Drew Holiday to go out and just go get me a bucket.
No, and
Drew Holiday has never been known for that. Ever.
What? Okay,
No.
we got to move on because this conversation will go.
Oh, we can
18
argue
years.
about this. Yeah.
We can have a we could definitely have a. I am all for it. All right. Here's another one. 2 guys that were on this list. You guys mentioned them earlier. Nikola Jokic and Kevin Garnett. Would you rather? Who wants to go first?
You
I
want
thought
to go
about
first,
Dirk
Kev?
Nowitzki instead of Kevin Garnett. I was actually waiting for his name.
Well, can you wait for the rest of the list? Can you just jump in and can you wait for this? Be patient.
You want to go first, Kev?
Yeah, I'll go first. Well, I'll keep it pretty short and simple. Of all time, give me KG. Has the depoy. He has the MVP, I believe so. And he is he two-time champion?
108.
One time.
That was it.
Okay, one. So I mean, they both got the same rings. It's not like Jokic has more than one. And Jokic is a multi-time MVP, 3 of I'm pretty sure.
Should be 4.
But I just think overall, KG, he just brings much more on both ends of the court than what Jokic is able to do. I'm not taking anything away from Jokic because offensively, Jokic is amazing. He is the best offensive passing center of all time. But KG defensively, he's one of the greatest defenders of all time. And that depoy, multiple time all defensive selections. I just think give me like KG all time. I just take him over Jokic.
D'Lo?
Can we rewind and say that talk about that Kev said that he just gives more on both ends of the court? I just wanna point that out. Because offensively it's not close. It's Jokic
No.
and by a mile. I don't even want to say a big mile. It's like cross country. Yeah.
Thinking the same thing. You read my mind, David Largo.
That was kind of insane. But no, like Jokic offensively is just he's one of the ones, right? I think the separator comes with how much you value the defense. Like Kev mentioned, he's got the depoy. He's a 12-time all defensive. It's hard to overlook that on the defensive end. He is one of the best defensive power forwards ever. So I personally don't know if I'm ready to put him above KG yet. It's very close, though. It is super close, but I value those defensive stats and accolades just a little bit more. But Jokic, when it's all like, I don't even think when it's all said and done, I think Jokic in the next 3 years will pass KG. So I'm going to say KG for right now, but it is very close.
Looks like you guys and I disagree again. I got Jokic above KG right now. I just do. I mean, when you look at impact, right? KG obviously was amazing on defense. He is, like you guys said, one of the best defensive power forwards of all time. He is, I mean, he's great. Jokic. Now, again, I might just be speaking out of the side of my neck. Jokic, I believe, is the best offensive center of all time.
Debate.
When you put
There's a debate.
when you put his offensive, you know what I'm saying? When you put his offensive game together, first of all, there's no center, there's no guy over 7 feet that can pass the ball like Jokic ever in the history of basketball. And when you look at it, when he's shooting the 3, he can get to the mid-range. There are few guys better in the post than Nikola Jokic is. Not only scoring, but passing out of the post. Now, defensively, yeah, he's not great, but he's not awful. He's not awful. But this guy is in the MVP race every single year. Every single year. He has been renowned as the best player in the world, obviously as of maybe not recently because of SGA and what he's been able to do. But for the past, 4 years, 5 years? I mean, there's nobody. I mean, okay, somebody's got to overtake him. Okay, SGA is going to take him. Okay, Giannis is going to – he's got to be better than Jokic. Oh, Luka's got – no, This guy has been renowned as the best player in the world for the 2020s. For the 2020s, there's not been a better player than Nikola Jokic. I can't say the same thing about KG. He was never the best player. Maybe in 01 when he won that MVP, but I mean, Shaq was in the league. I don't think
That was
anybody was
04.
taking KG over Shaq. 04, I'm sorry. Kobe was in the league. Nobody was taking KG over Kobe. It's hard for me to say that I'll take KG over Jokic, but Jokic is so dominant. He just takes control of the game. I got Jokic over KG. I got Jokic over KG right now.
Can't hate it.
This one we kind of talked about earlier. We talked about Kobe versus Steph. Would you rather Kobe or Steph? We kind of talked about it earlier. We don't have to get too deep into this one. You guys obviously both said Kobe. I also agree it's Kobe. I don't think the gap between Kobe and Steph is very big. I don't think it's very wide in terms of the gap between Kobe and Steph. But I think it's very close. I don't think Steph Curry is very, very far behind Kobe. I think Steph is just outside the top 10 in terms of players of all time. Now, Bleacher Report has him as number 10. So, any final thoughts you guys want to put on that?
I think when it's all said and done, Steph will be in that conversation, but I just don't think that he is yet.
Yeah, I'm with you. I don't think he's not there yet. He's not there. He's not Kobe. He's not Kobe's level. This one a little enticing, and I think it depends on where you have KG in terms of the all-time power forward. But Jokic, I have Jokic up again. Except this time, Nikola Jokic or Dirk Nowitzki. Now, Kev, since you wanted to try and beat me to the punch, who are you taking? Jokic or Dirk?
No, I'll set up for one round. I'll let Lo take over.
Yeah, I think this one is a lot easier for me personally. I think this one is Jokic. Again, in me picking KG, I said that the defense is really what mattered in my decision. But Dirk isn't doing any. Dirk's not playing a whole lot of defense. So when you look at him offensively, that's what you're comparing, and Jokic is just a better offensive Dirk. At the end of the day, that's what he is. They've both got one championship. Dirk with one of the most impressive championships in NBA history. With that, Dirk's got an MVP, but Jokic has 3. They both have that Finals MVP. So really, when you look at it, it's just who do you think was more prolific? And obviously, like we said, defense isn't mattering here because Dirk or Jokic isn't playing that much defense. But when you look at it offensively, Jokic is just a lot more versatile than Dirk. Just anywhere that isn't that mid-range, because obviously Dirk has, that patented, one-legged fadeaway that was virtually unguardable, right? But outside of that, Jokic just does everything better on the floor. And so I have to give it to Jokic.
Kev, who you got?
Before I continue, when you brought up the Finals MVP, I just now realized too it was both against the Heat.
Oh, thanks, Kev. Yeah.
You know what? That was I feel for D'Lo. But I also don't because you have championships. I don't. So yeah,
thanks,
I don't
guys.
feel for you anymore.
Appreciate it.
You're welcome. You want to share one of those championships with
positive.
me? Okay. All right.
Yeah, y'all got it. You know what I mean? Y'all got it.
Yeah.
Give me the Joker. And I think, like Lo said, this one is a lot easier. It's not as much of a debate with KG, because I do have KG as my second best power forward of all time. So that made the decision a lot easier for me to pick. It's basically just anything Nowitzki can do besides the mid range, Jokic can do better. Scoring, rebounding, passing, like that's all Jokic right there. And the three MVPs that backs up his status. And he's already won the ring too. So the only thing that Nowitzki does have over him is the path to the finals and who they had to beat. That's where I would give the money to Nowitzki.
Yeah, I'm gonna take Yoke. How you guys know how much of a fan I am of the Joker. And Dirk was, I mean, like you guys mentioned, he had, aside from the Kareem Skyhook, possibly the most unguardable move that's ever been in basketball. But yeah, Joker for what he's able to do, the impact that he has on the team. His championship was almost very close to the Joker championship. I mean, you look at it. I mean, he had guys who stepped up sometimes and didn't step up sometimes. You had, Dirk had Jason Kidd, Yoke had Jamal Murray. Sometimes they were there, sometimes they weren't. Dirk had Jason Terry, Yoke had Michael Porter Jr. Sometimes they were there, sometimes they weren't. So I think they have two of the most impressive championships that I've ever seen personally. But yeah, taking Yoke. All right, David Largo.
That's pretty quick.
This is something we have. Oh yeah, that was Would You Rather.
Yeah, that one was quick.
That one. Yeah, David Largo. This is a segment we have not done in a while, and I'm excited to get back into it. It's been a while, but let's do. It's not an episode, but the July training camp version of Gumball and D'Lo's Pole of Power. All right, Gumball and D'Lo's Pole of Power, pause, is a segment in which David Largo and I are going to give you a list of, usually it's football. Now, obviously, this week, this Pole of Power is the teams we're looking out for in training camp, the teams that have the biggest stories, the biggest kind of headlines. They're like, hey, what is that team going to do? And it's not the best teams. It is not the best teams, but the teams to maybe keep an eye on to see the decisions they make and how it can affect other teams and how they can affect their own team. So we are going to name 5. Kevin is going to react to them. It will go, D'Lo will name his number 5. I'll name my number 5. He'll name his number 4. I'll name my number 4, etc. Till we get to number 1. Excuse me. All right. David Largo, are you ready?
Yeah, man.
David, who is your number 5 in terms of teams to look out for?
My list was very hard to condense down to 5 because there's a lot of teams that have a lot of things going on. But I've narrowed it down to 5, and my number 5 is going to be the Los Angeles Rams. When you look at them right now, obviously they were just in the second round last year of the playoffs against the Eagles, and they did not lose by a whole lot. They've made some moves, right? You get rid of Cooper Kupp, you bring in Devontae Adams. They decided to keep Matthew Stafford for one more year. A lot of people going into this year thought that he was done and he was going to get either released or traded or just anywhere but the Rams. But obviously, they worked it out. And so I think that with the duo now of Puka and Devontae, and you see how good Matthew Stafford still is based off of his run last year, I think they have a lot to look forward to going into training camp. Obviously, the defense was pretty good last year, and we'll see because they had a lot of young guys on the defense, and we'll see if they continue to grow. And we'll see. So I think that number 5, I think the biggest story is Matthew Stafford because he is getting up there in age. How will he continue to hold up, right? And so I think that's a major headline for the Rams in particular because Puka Nakua and Devontae Adams is one of those receiving duo cores that it tops one of the best in the league. And so if they can't do a whole lot offensively, there's going to be some conversations. So that's why I have them in my number 5.
Yeah, that team kind of gives me nightmares. Being a Cardinals fan, that team, and you didn't even mention Sean McVay.
Nope.
That's another guy.
I've grown accustomed to leaving him out of discussions because he breaks my heart and soul because he outcoaches Kyle Shanahan every time that we play. So,
brother, who are you telling? This guy owns State Farm Stadium.
We know, yeah.
Oh, okay. Well, I try to.
We at least beat him sometimes. You know what I mean? You guys just.
Okay. Yeah. No. We destroyed him this year at State Farm. We beat him 42-14. So yeah, you can take that, tuck it away, and put it where the sun don't shine. My number 5. My number 5 team in terms of to look out for going into training camp are the Cincinnati Bengals. Cincinnati Bengals have had some financial trouble going into this offseason. When you look at Trey Hendrickson, I mean, their best defensive player, he's led the league in sacks the last, 3 years. He's been very, very productive for him. And gentlemen, where did the Bengals struggle the most last year?
Defense.
Oh, stopping people, right? And so you're going to lose that guy. You're going to lose Trey Hendrickson. And it didn't really add anything. You lost Akeem Davis-Gaither, who was the Mike. I mean, they didn't do much. They didn't add much defensively. I think when you look into it, T. Higgins obviously got paid. Jamar Chase got paid. Joey Burrow has already been paid. So, I mean, those 3 guys alone are taking up so much of your salary cap. You're now expecting them to produce at the high level.
That's
Not even to mention
Jesse Bates a couple of seasons ago, didn't they?
Huh?
Jesse Bates. That's the reason why he was traded away from the Bengals or went to the Falcons.
They didn't want to pay him. For whatever reason, the Bengals don't want to pay their defensive guys. And Shamar Stewart, their rookie, you don't even want to pay him. I don't understand what the Bengals are doing defensively. But offensively, he's still, Chase Brown, I think he's coming off an ACL. No. Is he coming off ACL? He's coming off ACL. Who knows? I know he's coming off an injury. Maybe he's not an ACL, but he's coming off an injury. So do you have that? I think they brought back Samaje Perine. So your running game is still questionable.
That O-line is still bad.
Are they going to be able to hold up? The Cincinnati Bengals, I'm not sure what they're doing. Especially, I mean, you play in the same conference as Patrick Mahomes, Lamar Jackson, and Josh Allen. I'd imagine you want to go get some guys to try and stop those 3 instead of just outscore them. So the Bengals, I think, are a team to look out for to see if they've been able to improve at all defensively, or if they just get worse, and then to see if T. Higgins is still able to perform at a number 1 level because he's getting paid like a number 1. So Cincinnati Bengals, they're my number 5. They're one of the teams I'm looking at this year. David Largo, number 4. Who's on your list?
Yeah, I'm glad you mentioned him because my number 4 is the Cincinnati Bengals. And everything that you just said applies. Trey Hendrickson, I just pay the man. Just pay him his money that he rightfully deserves. I don't understand it. But I think the big thing is that they went out and they paid Jamar Chase and T. Higgins top tier money, and you're already paying Joe Burrow, and now they can't pay anybody else. And so you're kind of thrusting on these guys that this is your team and you have to go out and win us games because we're paying you guys the most. And we saw it last year. They struggled. They were in games offensively, but they were in games offensively where they were putting up 35 points and the opponent was putting up 42, right?
Yeah.
It's just not going to win you football games. And so I think when you look at it, they're in purgatory. Then they won't return to the Super Bowl unless they fix it. And I don't know what the solution is. Obviously the solution is paying your defensive players, but ownership just doesn't want to do it. So I think that ownership change might be the future of the Cincinnati Bengals, since they're going to be in a loop where they're good, but they're not good enough. So, need to look out for.
I I agree. Yeah, the Cincinnati, they're going to need to do something. They're going to need to make some move to put them over the top because what they're doing right now is not going to get them past Lamar Jackson, Josh Allen, or Patrick Mahomes. My number 4, David Largo, is your team, San Francisco 49ers. When you look at the 49ers, the first thing you think about is Brock Purdy, right? Brock Purdy, he got his big deal. He got paid. He got paid like a top-tier quarterback in the NFL. Is he a top-tier quarterback in the NFL? It is now time for him to go prove that. We were having a conversation today on the show I work on, Arizona Sports, Wolf and Luke, and we were talking about Kyler Murray and how he needs to be an MVP candidate in order for the Cardinals to be successful this season. I can say the same exact thing about the 49ers. With one of the easiest, if not the easiest schedule in the NFL, he's going to have to perform. But when you look at his weapons around him, he's not the same weapons. It's not. When you look at Christian McCaffrey, is he going to be able to stay healthy? Obviously, George Kittle is reliable. That's all reliable. He's going to be there, whether you like it or not. Brandon Ayuk is coming off ACL. When is he going to be back? Juwan Jennings, he wants a new contract. Are the 49ers going to pay him? Ricky Pearsall, I really like his game. Ricky, I think if he's able to develop and become that kind of safety, that safety safety net, safety blanket for Brock Purdy, I think that'll be good for him. But he's going into his second year. But I think offensively there's some questions. Trent Williams is only getting older. He's still performing at a high level, but Father Time is indeed undefeated. And when you look at the defense, they lost a lot. They lost Charvarius Ward, their number 1 corner. They lost Talanoa Hufanga. They lost Dre Greenlaw. They lost a lot. They haven't paid Nick Bosa. I think that's a team to look out for, fellas. When you look at it, are they going to be able to get back to where they want to be? Get back to the Super Bowl. Go beat the Eagles, who are currently the best team in the NFL. Are you going to go be able to beat the Lions, the Commanders, the Rams? And it starts with number 13, fellas. It starts with 13. Is he going to be able to perform at that MVP level? So, my number 4, San Francisco 49ers.
Is it cool if I added a little something to the Niners?
Go ahead.
Because it actually kind of relates to the Bengals situation as well. They both made it to the Super Bowl, and that was when both their quarterbacks were on rookie deals. So it made it easier to have all these guys getting paid and all these expensive contracts. Then once the rookie deal was over, you had to let go of these players. And now the Bengals and Niners are starting to see, like, your window closes instantly. As soon as that rookie deal is up, you got to start paying these dudes and your quarterback, your franchise quarterback. So it's going to be a lot harder to get back when you're spending a lot of money on your quarterback and you can't bring in pieces.
Yeah, it's going to be tough. It's going to be tough. I mean, you love to have all the weapons and all the guys, but you're going to have to pay those guys. You're going to have to give them the money that they earn. David Largo, number 3.
Before I move on to my number 3, I just want to say we're all rooting for Brock Purdy because he's an Arizona kid and we all love Arizona. Hoorah.
He plays for the 49ers. I only root for
Maul, he's from here. Come on. You gotta show him just a little love, just a little bit.
Of course I do, but he plays for the damn 49ers.
My number 3, I'm kind of juggling between 3 and 2 because I think they're interchangeable. But number 3 for me is going to be the Steelers. And when you look at them, obviously they just made the trade for Jalen Ramsey, and you kind of have to wonder going into training camp, is he going to take Joey Porter Jr. under his wing?
Yeah.
Well, like we all think that he will, and he will turn him into one of the top corners in the league, like we're all expecting him to. So that's a big storyline. But I think the bigger storyline is Aaron Rodgers. Anywhere he goes, the media will follow Aaron Rodgers, and there's going to be publicity just because of how he handles himself. Is he going to be a good fit for the Steelers? Is he going to work well with DK Metcalf, who they just traded for, right? How's the backfield going to look now that Najee Harris is gone? I think that they just have a lot of questions, in they don't have a lot of answers. Obviously, they
Yep.
got Jonnu Smith in that deal, with Jalen Ramsey, who will be a good outlet for Aaron Rodgers because he loves tight ends. Um, but there's just a lot of question marks with a lot of new pieces. And obviously, we expect Mike Tomlin to somehow will the Steelers into the wild card. It happens every year, even though nobody really wants to see it anymore. But you just got to wonder, like, what are they going to look like with Aaron Rodgers? He wasn't that good for the Jets. Can he get that offense to, better than Russell Wilson? Because obviously we know what the defense is going to do. TJ Watt. They added Jalen Ramsey. They have pieces, although they did get rid of Minka. So you have to wonder what that safety room is going to look like. There's just a lot of
Yep.
questions going in for the Steelers that I think need to be answered in training camp, and I think that we're going to get the answers pretty quick.
Yeah. I had the Steelers at number 3, and I actually switched them. Actually right going into this segment. I'll expand on that here in a few minutes. My number 3 is the Dallas Cowboys. The Dallas Cowboys, people you guys might say, oh, he's going national, he's going. The thing that interests me most is there are 2 teams that were in the NFC Championship in the NFC East. Neither of those teams were Dallas Cowboys. In fact, both of those teams have now been in the NFC Championship, and the Cowboys haven't been in the NFC Championship since the 90s. I wasn't even born. I'm about to be 23 years old, fellas. The Dallas Cowboys haven't been to the NFC Championship as long as I've been alive. There's a lot of storylines going into this team. Dak Prescott, what is he going to look like? He was hurt last year. There's another year where he just got hurt and a season-ending injury. Micah Parsons, are they going to pay Micah Parsons? Is he going to go to training camp? He's going to show up. That's your best defensive player. George Pickens, is he going to fit alongside CeeDee Lamb? Is he going to get upset when CeeDee Lamb's getting all these targets and he's not getting as many targets as he wants? The running back room, they went out and got Miles Sanders. Is that going to do it? Is he going to have an impact? Are they going to be able to run the ball effectively? The one piece that I love on this Dallas Cowboys offense is Jacob Ferguson. How does he develop? I think he's a top 10 tight end as we speak right now. Mm-hmm. And so is he going to be able to become that safety blanket when CD's getting doubled and George Pickens can't get open? Is he going to be able to be that safety blanket for Dak? Say, oh, hey, where's 87? There he is. And then let him go. When you look at the defense, fellas, it's another place that they struggled. DeMarcus Lawrence is no longer there. A lot of these guys that have had an impact the past few years are no longer there. Are they going to go be able to make an impact? I think there's a lot of storylines around this Dallas Cowboys teams, starting with 4. Is he going to be able to come in and again produce at an MVP level? Because now you're in a division with 2 teams that were just in the NFC Championship last year and are only getting better. One of them having won the Super Bowl. Dallas Cowboys are my number 3. 2, David Largo, who is number 2 on your list in terms of teams to look out for going into training camp?
Man, now that you brought up the Cowboys, I feel like my list needs to change a little bit, but I'm going to leave it as it is because I completely forgot about the Cowboys because who's really talking about them?
That's a great point. I actually threw up in my mouth a little bit talking about him.
Yeah. My number 2 is actually the Minnesota Vikings. That's a good one. Going into training camp, they lost Sam Darnold. They did not want to pay him. That tells me that they think J.J. McCarthy is the placeholder or the future for them. And going into training camp last year, a lot of people said that he was probably like in the lead for that starting role. It would not have been Sam Darnold if JJ McCarthy did not tear his meniscus, right?
Yep.
And so when you look at it, he's going to be essentially in his rookie year. Can he compete? I think that's one of the bigger storylines when it comes to quarterback play is can JJ McCarthy fill the roles that Sam Darnold did last year? Because they were fantastic last year. The defense, you have to wonder, can they play at the same level that they did last year? Obviously, we know what Giannis is going to do, but can Jordan Addison take another leap and be that second consistent wide receiver for a rookie quarterback? Right? I think that they just have a lot of questions surrounding the offense in particular that just can't be ignored because they're going to be putting a rookie quarterback under center. And it's the same team thing with my number one team, and we'll get there. But I think that those questions will be addressed in training camp, and we'll see what the reports are on JJ McCarthy. Um, because again, you had the opportunity to re-sign Sam Darnold, even though, you probably wouldn't have playoff success. You would definitely still have regular season success with Sam Darnold because you just had it, right? And so I think they're taking a gamble here, and a lot of people are looking to see if it's going to work out.
Yeah, I think that's a really good one. That's a team I didn't even think about. I didn't think about Minnesota because you are bringing in a literally inexperienced quarterback. He's never played a regular season NFL game, and he's coming in. I was not a big fan of him coming out of college, coming out of Michigan. Obviously, I know they won the championship the year before. Was not the biggest fan of JJ McCarthy. I thought he was I thought he was a game manager. So I think that you were going to need to put a lot of pieces around him. Obviously, when you put Justin Jefferson, the best receiver in football, around him, that helps him a little bit. Are they going to be able to run the ball? Is that offensive line going to be able to hold up? TJ Hawkinson, how is he going to look? I think there's a lot of questions. That's a really good one, D'Lo. My number 2, fellas, is David Largo's number 3. I had the Pittsburgh Steelers number 2. Pittsburgh Steelers, and a lot of things you mentioned, D'Lo. When you talk about defensively, you trade for Jalen Ramsey, but you lose Minkah Fitzpatrick, who's one of the best safeties in football. So you're really hoping, okay, Jalen Ramsey, you want him to have an impact because he can still have an impact. But at the same time, hey Joey JPJ, Joey Porter Jr., come on. This is how you're supposed to do this. I'm going to show you how to do this. I'm going to show you how to do. That's what you're kind of expecting also by trading Jalen Ramsey, or at least that's what you should be expecting from Jalen Ramsey. So when you look at it, and obviously, D'Lo, you talked about it, the biggest story coming from the Steelers, Aaron Rodgers. Aaron Rodgers has already mentioned that this is going to be his last year. Is he just going to go on a farewell tour, get his applause, get his standing ovations, or is he going to go out there and try and win a Super Bowl? What are you going to do? How is he going to get along with Mike Tomlin? Because a lot of the stuff he was doing in New York and towards the end of his tenure in Green Bay, Mike Tomlin's not having none of that. So are they going to get along? And also, nobody's really talked about this. The 2025 national champions, their quarterback, Will Howard, the Ohio State Buckeyes. Guess who Aaron Rodgers' backup is? Will Howard. So can he have a Jordan Love type impact? Can he have a Brett Favre type impact? Hey, Will, this is how you do this. This is how you be a pro. This is how you read coverages. So I think there's a lot of stories. DK Metcalf, can he be the number one guy that the Steelers have been looking for? You trade George Pickens to the Cowboys for a guy, I wasn't directly, but you're looking for DK to be that number one. You still have guys like Calvin Austin and Pat Frymuth, who are other options, but can DK be that number one guy? Pittsburgh Steelers are my number 2. D'Lo, I think we have the same number 1, but I'll let you go ahead and say your number 1 first. D'Lo, who is the number 1 team you are looking out for in 2025 NFL training camp?
It is the Cleveland Poop Stains, aka the Cleveland Browns. There's so much to talk about. Someone just got arrested. some major allegations going on.
Yeah,
Training
I don't
camp
know what
hasn't
school.
even started yet.
I don't know what school he went to.
Don't know.
Oh yeah, Ohio
Really,
State,
really
right?
don't.
Nah, I don't remember that.
No, I don't remember.
I think it was Ole Miss. I think it was Ole Miss.
Definitely the Buckeyes. Definitely the
You're a hater.
Buckeyes.
You're a hater. But no, like when you look at it, their quarterback room is a mess. They took 2 quarterbacks in the draft. They have Deshaun Watson, who is probably not going to play this year, considering he retore his Achilles in rehab. I don't know. I think we talked about that on the show. But
I
he
don't know
was
if I've
in
ever seen an
rehab.
unluckier guy.
Yeah, he was in rehab, and then he retore that Achilles during rehab.
Didn't he just get
And they
married though?
had to. That has nothing to do with me in football. That has absolutely, that's
I
absolutely
mean, because
nothing to
because
do
you
with
said
me.
you said he was unlucky, so I mean that's gotta be some type of luck.
No, that man has a lot of karma coming his way, justifiably.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But when you look at it, right, Miles Garrett wanted out until they offered him the biggest contract that I've ever seen.
Yo,
Um,
like,
just an absurd amount of money to have him be on a mediocre team. But when you look at it, their wide receiver room is also in shambles, right? There were multiple guys that kind of had big games here and there, but there was never a standout guy. And we thought Amari Cooper was going to be that, and then he wasn't. And he went to the Bills, and he still wasn't that, right? So I think when you look at it, offensively, they just have so many questions literally everywhere. And defensively, outside of Miles Garrett, they're no longer the dog pound. They just they can't stop anybody either. And so
no.
when we talk about a team like the Bengals going into purgatory, the Cleveland Browns are already there. Um, and I don't know how they get out of it. And they just have so many ways that they think they found the answer, but do we really know any answers until we get into training camp? Is it going to be Shador? They drafted him after they drafted another quarterback. So clearly they
Yeah.
think that they can give him an opportunity, but will he get the opportunity? I, I don't know. So I think that the Cleveland Browns are they're far and away the number one team where it's like, what are you guys doing going into training camp?
I also want to point out too that their fifth overall pick too, Mason Graham, I heard has been struggling in camp too.
That's not a good look at all. That's not a good look at all for the Cleveland Browns. But my number one team, David Largo, is also the Cleveland Browns. Looking at the Cleveland Browns, obviously the big story is the quarterback situation. I'll get to that here in a minute. Defensively, I think they're going to be a lot better. I think looking at their roster, obviously you have Myles Garrett, who in my opinion is the best defensive player in football. You have Myles Garrett. You go out and you go get 2 linebackers that are very, very fast sideline to sideline. Now, Jordan Hicks is up there in age, but you get Jordan Hicks. You bring in Jerome Baker. You bring in Devin Bush, who is looking for an opportunity. You obviously still have Denzel Ward, who is a top 5 corner in football. You have Greg Newsome, who is a very good number 2. You have guys, Grant Delpit, it can make plays. So you have guys that can make plays defensively. Now, according to what Kevin says, Mason Graham hasn't looked very good. Hopefully, he drafted him number 5 overall. You traded for – you could have had the opportunity to get Travis Hunter, but you said, okay, we'll live with Mason Graham because you trusted him. Now you looking for him to – okay, now let's kick it into gear. But this quarterback situation, fellas, they have – I mean, I'm looking at the depth chart right now. Shador Sanders isn't even on the depth chart. He's the 5th string. And it's funny because you have Deshaun Watson, who, like D'Lo said, will probably not play this year. Joe Flacco, who played some last year. Kenny Pickett, who was the backup for Philly last year. Dylan Gabriel, who was on the best team for the most part, aside from in the playoffs when the Buckeyes put BTA to the Ducks. I thought I'd bring that up. But when the Buckeyes put BTA to the Ducks and Dylan Gabriel looked like a shell of himself, you drafted Dylan Gabriel in the 3rd round, and then you draft Shedeur Sanders in the 5th round. That quarterback situation is a mess. And I thought, you go into this, so maybe he has some weapons. He has Jerome Ford, who has been somewhat productive in his career. You have 1st or 2nd round pick Quinshon Judkins, but who knows if he's ever even going to touch a football field again professionally. Jerry Jeudy, who had some moments last year, he had that one game with Jameis Winston. You go up, bring Deontay Johnson, who has had some locker room issues the past few years. And then you have, in my opinion, the number 1 option, David Njoku, who is, again, one of the best tight ends in football. So the Cleveland Browns are a Brown show, as in like poop show. I don't know if these guys noticed what I did there. It's pretty creative.
Yeah, I got it.
I was expecting a laugh or two. So thank you. That's all I was asking for. Anyways. Yeah. So those are the teams that we're looking out for this season, going into training camp. Going into training camp. Those are the teams that we think you guys should keep an eye on to see what they end up doing. Now, fellas, let's close with this. NBA Summer League has been going on. We have seen a few guys that have kind of stood out to us. Okay, that's kind of made some plays. Okay, maybe he can have a role on that team. David Largo, I know you have a few guys that you want to talk about. Who is the first guy that you would like to mention that has stood out to you in Summer League?
So I've got 4 guys that I want to talk about. 3 of which I think are the more underrated, probably project prospects, and then one that we obviously just know is going to be good. So I'll just talk about the one that we know is going to be good and get him out of the way. It's Cooper Flagg. His debut was awful. And even he came out after the game and said that might be the worst professional game that he's ever played in his life. And then he showed it. He bounced back and had 31 points on 10 of 21 shooting. And that was against the number 2 pick in Dylan Harper. So I think when you look at it, you knew coming into it that Cooper Flagg was going to be an NBA-ready prospect. And his ability to bounce back after a really awful debut just shows that he's got that NBA mindset. He's got the talent and just the total package to just go out there and deliver. And I think him playing off of AD is going to do even more wonders for his game. And I just wanted to give him a quick shout out.
Yeah. Offensively, he's going to do what he does. I think defensively is where he stood out to me the most, D'Lo. I think he's been very, very good defensively. Kev, who stood out to you so far in Summer League?
I really only got one guy, and I already brought him up with you guys earlier, too, before the show had started. And his draft interview on the draft day, that stood out to me the most, is VJ Edgecombe. And I feel like he's going to be a future star in the league. He's a very good two-way player. At the age that he's at right now, too. And I think Philly got someone good. I think Philly has hit their draft pick with this selection. And it's a good one too because a lot of the teams in the East is it's either purgatory or middle of the pack or contending. And I think Philly has 2 ways to go with VJ is they have Maxey, McCain, and VJ, 3 future of the guys, and then you have Embiid and George. They have a backup plan if it doesn't work out with Embiid and George. They have a bright future with those 3 guys I just named. So I think Philly hit the mark with this draft pick, and I just love VJ's story with his backstory when he first got drafted.
Yeah,
but I think he also had an amazing debut in the Summer League too. I want to point that out too.
Yeah, Philly got a dog. Philly got themselves a dog, man, VJ Edgecombe. I love what I've seen so far from him. D'Lo, we were kind of talking before the show. We were talking about a certain guy. I'll let you bring him up because I'm not sure if you guys are gonna mention the guy that I'm about to say. Second year guy, Reed Shepherd of the Houston Rockets. That he stood out to me. The way he's been able to score the ball, and the biggest thing to me is, fellas, is he looks like he should not be in the summer league. Like there's some second year guys that you look like, okay, he might need some more work. Some year 3 guys, you know what? He might need some more work. Reed Shepard, no. I mean, he's scored. He had 28 points the other night. He's shooting the ball efficiently. He's having no problem. He's doing whatever he pleases in the summer league, and I think he's doing it at a high level. So Reed Shepard is one of those guys that have stood out to me so far. D'Lo, who's one of the other guys that stood out to you?
Yeah. Do you want me to just go with our consensus pick here and,
Yep.
and go with I'll
I like
bring
it.
him up. Um, Me and Jamal were talking beforehand, and this was one guy that we picked that really stood out to us. Is Carter Bryant. Is 6'8",
Yep.
220. He was the 14th pick in the draft, and defensively, he has just been a menace. He's been a lock. He's
Yep.
been everywhere. And offensively, it has not translated. He has looked awful offensively, but that's teachable, right? Me and Maul were talking about it before the show. That is a very teachable thing. Hey, shoot this, right? He does not have to have the ball in his hands. That will be the primary role of De'Aaron Fox and Stephon Castle and Dylan Harper and Wemby. You know, those guys that will have their ball in the ball the majority of the time. They will ask him, be this lock guy and shoot some threes and hit them consistently, and that's all we're asking from you. And when you look at the prospect of that, he is very scary, and he has looked very good so far in the summer league.
Yeah, I've loved the way that Carter Bryant has looked. I mean, when you talk about a guy that just fits anywhere, I mean, you could throw Carter Bryant on any team in the NBA, and he's going to go have a role. He is a lockdown defender. He is a 50-50 ball guy. I mean, when the 50-50 balls, with Carter Bryant, they're more 70-30 because he's going to go get it. He's going to go get it. I think the offensive game will translate eventually. D'Lo, you mentioned it. I don't think it's translated just yet. Obviously, he's a rookie. He hasn't played a single NBA game, summer league. Some people say he hasn't played a regular season NBA game against the NBA talent. But I think his game, I mean, oh my goodness, fellas. Yeah, it's only going to get better. It's only going to get better from here. I love what the Spurs have done. I think they got their two picks from this year. I think they've stood out a lot. I think they're going to be really good. Okay. You guys call me a homer, call me biased, whatever you want to call me. The guy that stood out to me so far, Kobe Bryant of the Phoenix Suns. When you talk about just a shooting stroke, fellas, this guy is the best shooter in the 2025 draft. He came out first summer league game, 4 or 5 from 3, 7 points. And this is with Ryan Dunn on the court. This is with Oso Iguodala on the court. This is with Kaman Malawach on the court. He's coming down and he can handle the ball, boy. He's 6'7". He's a long, lanky 6'7". He, defensively, he's got to improve. He's not awful, but he's got to get better. But the catch and shoot, I mean, the other day he had another good game. He stood out to me a lot. I think he is the son. Now, again, maybe this is me overreacting a little bit, but I think once he gets acclimated into the NBA pro style of basketball, he's going to start the year off in the G League because the Suns have 92 guards. But I think he has a chance to be the future of the Phoenix Suns alongside Devin Booker. D'Lo, who was one of these other guys that has stood out to you so far?
A good pick, and I knew it was coming because you posted it on your Instagram earlier today.
Yep.
I've got 2 more guys. My number 2, and get on me if I'm pronouncing his name wrong, but I've got that guy out in Minnesota, that 17th overall pick in Joan Behringer. I don't know if you guys saw his debut, but he might have just had the best debut of any rookie. Based off of what they drafted him at and what they're looking for. 11 points, 8 rebounds. He had 6 blocks. He had 6 of them. And they drafted this guy to be the long-term successor of Rudy Gobert when they eventually, either move off of him or don't re-sign him or whatever the case may be. But he's a projects guy for sure. I mean, he's only 18. He's from France, so he'll fit right next to Rudy Gobert in terms of, getting comfortable, right? I think that he's a guy that you should be looking out for. His defensive instincts are off the charts. And again, that's something that you can't teach. You can't teach instinct like that. And so I think the offensive game, it'll come to him if he can, develop a mid-range to that post game. I think that he is very, very scary as a potential prospect. And they knew that coming in. He is a builder prospect. You're not just going to get production from him immediately. So to see him come out in his first game and do that, man,
Yeah, yeah.
man.
He's looked pretty good. He has looked pretty good. You know what? I'm gonna say a little bit on the negative side. A guy that's kind of stood out to me. Jeremiah Fears of the Pelicans. He was a top pick. He was one of the best guards in the draft out of Oklahoma. He's not looked quite as sharp as I thought he would have looked so far throughout the summer league. In his game against the Lakers, he had 15 points on 5 of 21 shooting, 1 of 7 from 3. He turned the ball over 3 times. Again, it's summer league. I don't want to overreact too much. He hasn't looked great so far in the summer league. That's one guy I was kind of like, okay, well, if you put Jeremiah Fears, this young first-round pick guard, and alongside with DeJounte Murray when he gets healthy, and Zion Williamson, and and Trey Murphy and Herb Jones and all these guys, maybe he can have, an impact off the bench. Hasn't looked like the case so far. So if he continues to play the way he is, maybe he'll start the year off in the G League. But, as a number 10 overall pick, you kind of want that guy to show you a little bit more. But I don't know. That's one of the guys that have kind of maybe disappointed me in terms of standing out. But David Largo, your last member of your standout summer league participants.
Yeah, I mean, going into draft night, everyone was criticizing this pick. A lot of people were like, who is this guy? Why is he getting drafted this high? And I think Portland could have had the steal of the draft. And it's that guy from China, Yang Hansen. He has I don't know if you guys have seen it. He has shown flashes of just greatness, and he plays a lot like him. They in the summer league, they give him the ball at the top of the key, and they expect him to go out and make a play. There's not a lot of 7-foot guys that do that. He's 7'2", and he has a vision for the game that is very similar to Jokic. And if he can reach that sort of potential, even if he's not quite what Jokic is, if he can reach, half of what Jokic is, he's going to have a great career. He has shown just such great potential from passing, and he's dribbling from the 3-point line and making plays and getting to the rim, and he shot it a little bit, and he's got an okay 3-point shot. It's something that he can develop. I think that Portland, all said and done, could have had the steal of the draft.
Yeah, he has. You know what? I'm glad you brought that up. I wouldn't even think about him. He's looked fantastic, D'Lo. He's looked really, really good. My last pick, the guys that stood out to me, again, another second-year guy, Terrence Shannon Jr. of the Minnesota Timberwolves. He's aggressive. That's probably my favorite thing about Terrence Shannon so far in the summer league, is he's been so very aggressive. He's getting to the basket. Now, I think this is a good thing more than it is a bad thing, especially from a second-year player. But he's shooting a lot of threes. Because that's where he wants to get better. right? That's where he needs to get better in shooting the three ball, and not just in practice, but in game, in a game setting. Can you become more efficient shooting the three? Now, obviously, in the regular season, he's not going to go put up 14 threes and 9 threes. But that's where you need to get better. So you're getting that experience shooting the three ball. And again, being that number one guy. He's it's him and Rob. And I think so far he's outplayed Rob Dillingham. He's been the guy on that Timberwolves Summer League team. I love the way he's played. He's been aggressive. I think Terrence Shannon Jr. is going to be a very good player in this league. He was very good at Illinois. I think he's going to be good. I think he can absolutely be one of these defensive guys who can have an impact offensively, who can be that third, fourth option maybe. So Terrence Shannon Jr., I've loved.
He definitely could fill Nas' departure to Atlanta.
Yeah. So I'm definitely looking forward to. Hold on, fellas, I'll be right back. 2 seconds.
Uh-oh, he's out of here.
1, 2.
Get him out of here. Yeah, I know you were happy to hear that young Hansen pull.
I was actually
That's
waiting.
insane.
I was actually waiting for any of you guys to say his name, because I just seen highlights of it. I haven't seen him play in like the full game, but like the Tones was big on him on draft day, so I looked into it and he's nice.
He's been good. He's been good defensively too.
All right, I'm back, fellas. Speaking of which, that's going to close out the show tonight.
Yes, sir.
That is going to close out the show tonight. I hope you all enjoyed. I think that was a very good episode. I think we got to a lot of stuff. Obviously, that NBA Top 100 list being the leader of the stuff we got to tonight. So let us know what you think of not only the list, but our opinions on the list and your would you rathers. Delos, are you going to say something?
You want to know what I think? I think that we're almost at 100 subscribers, so you should like, comment, and subscribe.
We're at 89, fellas, and 89 at 100. I'm going to do something big.
That's
big.
not
So
his one chip challenge that he still has to do for the Super Bowl bet that he lost.
I do, and training camp's about to be here, and I still haven't done this shit.
Yeah, we know. You're pushing it back, but we're not forgetting. Let him know in the comments. Tell him to do his one chip.
I feel bad for you when that day comes because you do not eat spicy foods.
No, I hate spicy food. It's gonna be rough. Yes, I do still have to do the one chip challenge, and I will absolutely be doing the one chip challenge. So before the NFL season starts, I promise. No, not even a question.
I'm not even gonna lie to you, though. You should definitely get a bag of Doritos and like crush up the one chip and have them get a taste of that.
That's evil.
You are evil. First of all, why would I accept an open bag of chips from anybody?
You accepted some from me before.
Huh?
I had a couple of bags of chips at your crib before, and you were eating them.
Yeah, you ate them. I didn't eat them.
Yeah, you have to see someone eat a chip from.
I mean,
that
the thing is, though, is like the thing is, though, Jamal,
you just open it and then here.
I've already had the world's hottest hot sauce, and I was fine. So I mean,
no, but Maul, see, that would be fine if you open it in front of me. Yeah, sure, but if you just hand me an already open bag, no. See, we're gonna have some issues.
I'll be like, Jamal, look, have some chips, Jamal.
Nah, see Kevin on that super secret.
Yeah,
stuff, bro.
see, Kev is on some I'm not your friend type stuff.
Yeah,
that's
see,
what he's on.
Some people just like to see the world burn.
That is going to close out the show. Appreciate you, fellas. That was a great episode. I'm trying to. I don't want to spoil too much. I'm trying to get some t-shirts out. So I'm working on that. Some merch for the show. Trying to get that done. So be on the lookout for that. David Largo looks very impressed. So I'm glad I was able to appease him.
Yeah, I wear a GSM hoodie. Are you kidding me?
Oh, it's
not
going
in this weather.
First.
Not in this weather. Whoa.
Hey, I'm inside in some AC. I can wear a little hoodie for an hour or two.
See, look at my dog.
Yeah,
some hats though. I would wear some GSM hats.
See,
we
the
gotta
problem
we gotta
is I
start with
always
t-shirts.
wearing them backwards. I always wear them backwards, so you wouldn't even be able to
That's
see
true.
the logo. I'd have
It is
to, I'd have to flip it around.
Look at
Yeah,
that.
look at those
Look at a
guys.
sharp gentleman. Look at
Look
these
at that
sharp
guy.
gentleman.
Shout out to Khalil Ware.
Oh, he's been hooping too. I thought about putting him in my list, but
Ninja.
he's also like him, me and one of my coworkers today. We're talking about like he's out there like just trying to get numbers. Really, he's not. Yeah, he's just out there just. All right, I want to get my numbers. But that's gonna close out the show, fellas. Great show. We'll be back sometime later this week. If you enjoyed, one more time, D'Lo.
Like, comment, subscribe. Get us to 100 subscribers.
Thank you, sir. That was fantastic. For my co-host, Kevin, coach of the year, brains of the group, Coach Kev. Thank you, sir. For David Largo, my dog, my boy, my brother, co-host D'Lo. For yours truly, Gumball. We are out, and as always, you matter. Nobody else is going to tell you. You matter. I love you. You have value. You woke up this morning, and be grateful you woke up this morning. A lot of people didn't get to do that. So we love you. Don't ever forget, it is nice to be important, but it is much, much more important to be nice. We'll be back later sometime this week. Thank you. I love you. Oh my God, I'm going to
Like,
cry.
comment, subscribe.